Alright guys, as you can see, it's pretty dark. You can see the reflectors off of the cars and the street lamp that's all the way down there. But as far as down here goes, that's our setup. So we are going to give it a go. We are going to record by the FXT goggles and see how this camera works. So here we go. So basically what we are going to do, we are going to take a run and we are going to just show you the transitions. Now obviously if this was on a drone in the air, we would have different transitions because we would probably more than likely be above the lights, the street lights. As you can see that we're getting close, it's getting brighter, it's getting super clear. As we turn around, which we'll do here in a minute, and we get into darker areas, we're still able to see, really, really well compared to not having this. But it gets a little bit grainy. Like right now, we're away from the street lamp. You can see it getting a little bit grainy, and our FPV feed is flaking out just a little bit. I didn't have the best antenna on this for it being on the ground, myself being way down the street. It will clear up here in a bit, so please bear with me. Again, we're not really testing my FPV setup, we're testing the camera. And again, right here, this is a dark area. We can still see really well. You could actually look up in the sky and see some stars up to the left. And then as we get over here towards this street lamp, the clarity gets really, really clear. So ideally, you probably want to fly this in an area where there's some type of light source. But again, if there's very minimal light source, as I showed you in between street lamps, you're going to get drivable or flyable, whatever you have this camera on, footage where you're going to be able to FPV through it. And again, we're getting a lot of breakup here because the car's slow to the ground. My antenna I didn't really have up super high, so that's why we're seeing a lot of the breakup. All in all, I like it. I definitely got to get it on a drone. Definitely got to get it probably in a little bit better area to be flying on. But this offers great footage. What this does is you can then put a GoPro, you can put a Q6, you can put a dope camera on whatever you're running FPV at night and get the night footage that normally you wouldn't be able to get because normally you wouldn't be able to see. And it is fairly impressive. I ran a beta FPV 85X HD yesterday out almost in these same conditions. I didn't have night vision though, so it was a little bit hard to do, but I was able to navigate, and the video quality is pretty dope. If you're on Facebook, if you're in Drone Days or Drone Exclusive is a paid membership group. Drone Days is a free group. Both links will be down below. But if you're in either of those, you would have seen that footage that I'm talking about. And HD night footage, we generally don't get. We generally don't get houses lit up and it being all dark around. It's a different type of footage, and it's actually pretty darn cool. A while back, somebody was flying, I guess around a high-rise condo in Drone Days, and it was really dark out. And excuse me, I'm just kind of waiting for traffic to go. There is definitely a car coming. As you can see, the lights on the left shining on that house, and I tried to run up with it. Couldn't keep up with it. This is a basic LiPo car. It does have some speed to it, and I think what I'm going to do, we are going to do a double feature here. I'm going to add my basic T16 drive review at the end of this video. So you get a double feature here. If you were in it just for the camera, after this camera footage, you could go ahead and turn it off. But if you want to see how the car actually drives from first person point of view via my hat cam, that'll be after this. And that'll be probably in like 4 or 5 minutes here. Again, we're just burning up and down. Could we do this at night? It's tough. It is really tough because, again, like I said yesterday, last night I took the Beta 85 HD drone out and I was flying what we're driving here. And this area where it gets really grainy here, but we're still able to see, is almost impossible to see through a non-night vision FPV camera. I had high difficulties doing that. And the first run didn't turn out too well. What actually turned out fairly well was running up and down the street where there's a little bit more light. But again, something like this, we're in between lampposts, it gets grainy, we're still able to see. There are guys that have reviews out with this on drones already. I plan to put this on a drone at some point and get the footage from that. But it's a good camera. I'm signing off on the camera. Does it do what it's advertised to do? Absolutely, it does what it's advertised to do. The flaky 5.8 gigahertz breakup, we could do without that if I was a little bit better prepared. If I had my 5.8 gigahertz aerial antenna up higher off of the RC car, then we would have got better footage, less breakup. But because it's so close to the ground, and even like, dude, I'm halfway down the street here. You can see how far I just drove, and then we're driving all the way up. We are using the Jumper T16 on this. The runtime video where I'm going to run the car via hat cam, which you're going to see here in like a minute or two. We're using T16. We're using a drones controller to drive this RC car, and I prefer it like that. A gun trigger controller is nice, but as far as precision goes, I feel we have better precise movements on the Jumper T16. It gives you better control, it gives you smoother controls, and as I said, which I will reiterate, precise controls. A gun trigger, you have your throttle when you're pulling the gun trigger, and you have your wheel that's on the side for your turning. And unless you get a really, really good one of those, which I do believe they sell really good one of those, you're generally dealing with a plastic toy grade type controller, which they do well. I'm not saying they don't do well by any means, but this is just better. I've bound other RC cars to the Jumper T8SG in the past. This is the first one that I've bound to the T16, I believe, and it worked really well. Guys, I'm J Drone. If you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. Again, double feature for you here. There will be a second part to this video. It will be daylight. I will show you the characteristics of this RC car on the T16 via the hat cam. If you want to support me as a creator, you want to support J Drone, there's a PayPal link down below. You want to throw me 5, 10, 20, if anybody's a millionaire, you want to throw a mill at me, that'd be greatly appreciated. We'll be doing big things. If you only got 99 cents and you want to join a cool group, Drone Exclusives, links down below. J Drone here. What's going on, guys? We got the Jumper T16, the dopest controller on the market right now. This is definitely a lot of other controller killers, especially your mainline stuff. Basically running HOURS, FrySky, bam, in a Fatuba case. And we're going to do a little something different today. We got an RC car. What? How does this even work, right? I know the protocol to this. That's how it works. A lot of people, it's not too common. For this, it's basically a Wltoys car. I like this because we can charge the battery in body. We can also hit the toggle in body. We don't got to take the pins off. And then turn this on. I already have it programmed. If there's a lot of interest and you guys want to know how to do this, pretty simple. But here we go. Yeah. Okay. And the back's a little tricky as far as the reverse goes. It was on the other one. This thing's quick. Go ahead and run by myself here. Like super quick. The motor inside this is, I think, a little bit larger than it should be. This is LiPo. I have a LiPo in this. I'm not sure if that's the stock battery that originally came with it. See it just drifting on the solid surface. Yeah. And just to show you guys, I'm almost positive, this is an all-wheel drive. It is. This is an all-wheel drive vehicle. So for it to be able to do donuts like that is pretty impressive. And again, no trickery. We are using this controller. What we can do with this then, which I've done in the past, is put a little AIO on top of it, a little FPV action, get a set of goggles on, and then you can have long-range FPV with this, because I'm kind of like knelt down so you can see the RC car a little bit better, and it is a little bit windy. That's not going to affect that, but I'm trying not to have you hear it. In my drone videos, I like to have you hear it. That way you know the wind conditions. But I'll go ahead and stand up, and we'll take this for a little run down there. Range should not be limited at all. It's just by my eyesight that we're going to be limited. Thing's cooking. We'll come back. We'll kneel down that way you can see it. Now I do have a faster one than this. This isn't crazy fast. It is fast, but I have a faster one that I do believe is also jumpable. And again, a lot of guys don't know that it's common knowledge that these things have been deviated, or like on this with OpenTX, where the protocol's in there. Alright guys, I'm J-Drone. If you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. I just really wanted to show you something a little bit different. Really, we're stuck on some grass. Thing's sitting pretty low to the ground. Yeah. Alright guys, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. Questions, comments, concerns down below. That's what it was. And if you guys want the how-to video, this is basically running OpenTX like a lot of your Tyrannuses are. It can be done on the jumper. On deviation, it can be done. Let me know. I'll be happy to do both of them in the same video. Later.